Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first fighter into the ring. Fighting out of Georgia, Mikheil Avakyan. Please welcome his opponents, fighting out of Lithuania, by way of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kamanga.
Bout number 4 of this Siesta Promotions event in Southampton. Sees.
I mean, fair play to the promoter, Siesta. I mean, I haven't seen too much boxing up in Southampton, so you know what?
First time
he's bringing it here, and he's got TV, so you know what I mean. Big up to the promoter, Siesta.
Weighing in at 10 stone, 6 pounds and 6 ounces. And out of 72 contests, he has 58 wins, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Georgia, Mikheil Avakyan.
Mikheil Avakyan from Georgia in the blue corner there, who's decided to get out. Why is that, Spencer?
I have no idea.
And he looks like he's walking down the steps. Somebody is taking a glove off or fiddling with the tape.
By way of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kamanga.
Is that the wrong opponent, Spencer?
Your referee charge action.
Interesting situation going on here. I know the viewers can't see it. The initial opponent, Mikheil Avakyan, has got outside the ring and they are ungloving him.
I'd like to know what's going on.
The gloves are too small, I believe the MC is telling me.
Okay.
He's got the wrong ounceage on, Spencer.
Right.
Somebody, perhaps hawk-eyed person in the other corner, has seen it, or else the referee, and it says, no, put some new gloves on him. In the meantime, this is where we should come into our own and talk amongst ourselves,
yes,
for the benefit of the viewers.
And we shall. Just a couple of people up in Southampton who've come up to us and is asking us on a debate of who we've got for Errol Spence versus Kell Brook for the World Boxing Federation Welterweight Championship.
IBF, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Well,
International
Boxing Federation. My apologies. The International Boxing Federation World Welterweight title. And it's Kell Brook coming off of a loss against Golovkin, but a loss where he acquitted himself handily.
Yeah.
And you've got to give him a lot of credit from that fight. And Errol Spence, who is generally untested, but the rumours are that he's been a bit of a terror in the gym. But not only that, has recorded his last 2 fights, very good wins in stopping Leonard Bandou, who's very, very durable man and known to us over these shows, right? And also doing a number on Chris Algieri.
Spence looks tasty, doesn't he?
He does.
People threatened, pre-Golovkin even, people predicted that Brook would swerve him because they hadn't been too knocked out.
Yeah,
forget the pun by his mandatories, Jojo Dan and Kevin Bizier.
We've got to give all credit in the world to Kell Brook for taking
back-to-back fights.
Right, in back-to-back fights.
Spence.
Right, and also Kell Brook believes that he's going to win this fight.
Of course.
Look at his body language. Look how he's been behaving.
He probably doesn't think any welterweight in the world can beat him.
100%.
Now he's danced with the Kazakh.
Right, and you know what? And he took some hellacious shots against Golovkin. Like, you got to remember, if somebody can break your eye socket, right?
Seriously, it's literally bone-breaking power.
Right, it is bone-breaking power. And he was still prepared to continue fighting. It was fair play to Dominic Ingle to stop that fight, but you know, Kel broke.
I'm loath to give Dominic Ingle too much credit for anything, but he did what he had to do.
Yeah, he absolutely did, and so that's going to be a really, really good fight. So you've got some great fights coming up right now. You know, the rematch between Andre Ward. The rematch between
Kovalev,
yeah. The rematch. I was just looking out.
A vibrant boxing scene.
Yeah.
Well, we filled in as best we could for you, but the protagonists are in the ring now. He's been gloved up duly with the right gloves on this occasion.
Seconds out.
Kamanga looks very strong indeed.
Yeah, he has that look of him. It's a nice jab to the body straight away. You know, put his head out of range a couple of times.
I like the look of this Paul Kamanga, you know.
He's very low, doesn't he, Spencer, Kamanga?
Yeah.
Gets sufficiently low. It is very difficult to hit a guy. You know, I mean, obviously I'm preaching to the converted here, but you know, like back in the days of Henry Armstrong, even when you put yourself at that kind of subterranean level, and it is very difficult to get nailed as long as you keep moving ahead
and keep throwing and bludgeoning shots.
He's southpaw at the minute.
Kamanga's jumping from southpaw to orthodox.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes I'm seeing guys when they're in fights and like they're trying too much to do too many things.
Yeah, I don't always agree with switching. I don't think you always gain a lot from it unless you're very good at switching.
All right, I think Kamanga's trying a bit too much to do too much right now.
I can only think of two great switches in history, to be honest with you, Spence.
Marvin Hagler being one of them.
Yeah, and the other one. Lesser, but still deserves the man of the great to some extent. Prince Nassim Hamed.
Oh, sorry, was you asking me? I was actually watching. Sorry, man. No, Prince Nassim Hamed was an incredible switch hitter.
But take outside of Hagler, him, not a lot. He gets clipped there with that kind of long swinging left hook. Once again, the Georgian doesn't look too offensively polished. His balance looks a bit odd, Spencer. It's almost like he's got his toes, front foot, he's got his toes off the ground some of the time. Some of these guys have learnt on the job, as you know.
I have known. I mean, earn as you learn, we could say.
Yeah, well, why not, eh? It's rather almost white-collar-esque kind of swinging from the man called Avakyan from Georgia. His chin's right up in the air like a weather vane too. Now he's southpaw. You know what? If he's any good at all, he's got something to offer.
He should
Kamanga should get. Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth. He looks borderline inept, to be honest with you. You know, doubting their knowledge are never going to sugarcoat something.
Yeah,
they call it like we see it. This guy looks very threadbare in terms of skills.
Yeah.
Well, that's an inconclusive opening round. The Kamanga certainly won it, but when he opened up there, he looked frighteningly uncheek. The Georgian kid.
I would have to agree with you. Like the Georgians offered Kamanga nothing at all. You know what? Kamanga should be able to stop this guy.
He really should be able to get around there because not only is he, you know, swinging and you know, like a guy, you know, in the rigging, he hangs his chin out very high and looks very vulnerable too. And I'm guessing it's just a prejudice I've already acquired over the space of the opening 3 minutes. I'm guessing he hasn't got a chin like Randall's got either.
Seconds out, round 2.
Let's see what happens here. It's a nice little screw shot from Kamanga there. Don't always see
very
that
good
shot, Spencer.
Pardon me?
Don't always see the screw shot where you turn it upside down.
I remember like Darren Hammett used to like throwing that shot, the former British
He did.
like welterweight champion. But
He likes anything to do with screw, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Right hand to the body for Kamanga. The way he comes forward with no balance whatsoever, Spencer.
He's the guy that's jumping in to throw the left hooks at you.
It reminds me of John Conte in his autobiography, Ghosted by Peter Batt, when he talks about his first opponent. Touches down there, Kamanga. He says, as a boxer, he'd have probably made a good brusher up. And I feel that kind of comparison should be applied to this Avakyan right now. But you know what? He's making hard work of this Kamanga, Spence. He is.
He is making hard work of it. Well, he should be like more. He should be pressing. It's like he's trying too hard to impress. And when you're in with a guy who's an awkward opponent, and subpar to your ability, you should stick to the basics.
Sometimes they can, to be fair to him, I suppose, like you just sort of preempted. Sometimes they can drag you down to their level a little bit, and they can make you look bad because they are so unconventional. I mean, look at. How do you prepare for? It's not a threat to you, but it's difficult to kind of
straight shots
box it together. Straight punches.
Straight sharp shots, and that will just
diffuse all that
nonsense that they bring in, and then they don't want to fight no more. And plus, the Georgian does leave himself open. He's throwing like wide left hooks. As he's throwing them wide, he leaves himself defenseless.
Look at that, Spencer. I mean, honest to God, sorry, I know I keep saying it like a stuck record, but in terms of fundamentals, he just has none.
What, fundamentals?
He probably thinks fundamentals is something to do with, you know, hardcore, you know, main Christianity in Texas somewhere. But he's still in there. He hasn't really looked at a moment's trouble as yet. And Kamanga, who looks like he's got the ability to do something and perhaps put some hurt on him, hasn't done it yet. I mean, I like the Joe Fraser stuff, Spencer, and rolling, getting low, but I think he's a little bit ineffectual with it.
Yeah. He is a little bit Henry Armstrong-ish, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to agree with that, right? But he's not bludgeoning enough. It's still his round, but it's a very scrappy round.
He just doesn't look like a fighter, the man from Georgia, does he? Not aesthetically, physically.
No.
Not in terms of the way he shapes up, the way he lets his hands go.
But this at the time here, when you see a guy who's fighting like this, where Kamanga's meant to stick more to the fundamentals instead of like flying around, let's stick to the basic straight shots.
I think we got a glimmer of a smile from referee Jeff Hines there, who seemed to be slightly amused at the way we're calling it so frankly, but, you know, as regards the Georgian in the blue corner.
Well, you know
what else should we do?
Jeff Hines is one of our premier referees in the country. And I'm still amazed that he's not a star referee.
You know how it is. There's, like in any walk of life, you know, there's always a pecking order.
Seconds out, round 3.
Almost looked like he was fighting sleep for a second there. He wants to touch gloves. Once again, at the third round there, they touch gloves there.
I know you hate it,
You'd be perfectly within your rights to cold cock the guy with a left hook.
You can. And nobody could say anything.
To touch gloves at the start of a round.
Oh, good left hook.
And the first round.
The Georgian just threw a good left hook, hit Kamanga with it.
Was it a good left hook or was it a left hook?
No, it was a good left hook because it landed. Is there a little bit of a swelling I can see underneath Kamanga's right eye?
Yes, there is, like a little mouse, as they call it.
Right, I'm saying like, yeah. But I couldn't even call it a mouse, I called it a rat because it's kind of looking a little bit big there.
Yeah. He landed that kind of swinging left hook again. I mean, you know, bring his knee up there, Spencer.
Right, and what I'm trying to say is this, it's like, at a time like this when you're fighting somebody who's got crazy non-fundamentals, you're meant to stick to the fundamentals. Straight shots.
He came up with an uppercut then from the craziest angle where you just wouldn't throw an uppercut.
Right, and then came out with a knee.
Do you think it's because he's from a different combat background, maybe, that he reverted to instinctive type there?
What was he playing? Marbles?
The jab to the body. See, he can make this easier for himself, Kamanga. Don't fight at his pace. Don't fight to his level. Get work behind the fundamentals. Stop messing around. The referee doesn't seem too happy with him, but he gives a little push there. Kamanga can make this easy for himself, Spencer.
Our Georgian friend here
Get your jab. Get behind your jab.
has got a big tear in the back of his shorts now as well.
Just to make things never a dull moment here, Spencer. He has got a big tear.
He has got a big tear.
How did that come about?
don't know.
Because of the strange unorthodox positions.
Yeah, I know. Was it Riddick Bowl versus Pitt? Cootsie, the same thing happened
Yeah.
just before he...
Hagler Simpson, there was a kind of raw drop back function as well.
Come on, boy.
First of all, the gloves weren't right. Now the shorts haven't held up. Yeah, I mean, perhaps, you know what, I was being a little harsh on Kamanga, but perhaps this guy really is a nightmare to fight. Perhaps,
No. Seriously. I'm glad that Kamanga's not having it his own way. He's getting caught with shots, because I think, like, him coming into the ring, he was like romanticising with the fact of being a fighter. And even though this guy's a nightmare to fight, this guy does a very good sneaky uppercut from the Georgian there.
But to be fair to the visitor, he doesn't lack for courage at all.
No, exactly. And fair play to him. It's just that the thing that he does lack is technique.
He lacks that the same way Ian Huntley lacks a good reference to be an au pair. But he's letting this guy, Avakyan, take the play away from him a little bit. And while he's winning the fight, Kamanga, this is not going to get anybody excited about his progress or put the fear of God into any...
Yeah, exactly. Fair play, the kid's coming to fight.
Round 4.
And Kamanga needs to do something. Hit him with more authority punches, but not winging in the shots.
And a little bit more conventional. Maybe stand up a bit taller, get behind your jab and move your head. You know, not so much being down there, rolling. So you lead him with a hook like that. You just get behind the basics. The jab, feint, move your head. There you go.
Well, he's trying to do it
listening
now.
to me a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I think
he probably can hear me from here. That was a nice little manoeuvre.
I think his trainer must have told him to slow things down as well.
That's exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, because it was trying a little bit too hard.
I mean, really, if you're going anywhere, you've got to get rid of these kind of guys and make them look a little bit silly.
You know what? I'll have to agree with you. And not only that, but I'm seeing like a total disregard of doubling up on the shots.
Yeah.
Where you can see this Georgian kid, Kamanga, is open for these left hooks and he should be doubling up on him. And he's not.
I still like the look of Kamanga potentially. I just don't think he's having a good night.
He's not having a good night because he's in with a horrible opponent.
He's warned him for slapping. He's going to get a point taken off.
Well, it was long overdue.
I think, quite honestly, without being too, not being facetious, I don't think he knows how to deliver a correct shot, Spencer. He's constantly touching gloves all the time like it's a spar. He lands a jab, though, and that wasn't a bad jab.
That was a good jab. That was, I mean, that kind of like a kind of old, like a 1980s version of Muhammad Ali kind of jab there, you know.
Crazy. Didn't see, that's not a bad, basic jab either. He looks a little bit tighter now.
Well, you know what is good? He's very good at throwing them counter uppercuts because he's hitting Kamanga with those counter uppercuts.
And he's a tough guy, isn't he? He can take a shot.
Yeah, hey, good right hand again.
As we speak, it looks like he's actually found some kind of...
Yeah, this guy's learning on the job.
Yeah, I mean, that was a decent straight right hand. And again, he's straightening his shots up now.
Yeah.
Looks like he's gaining a bit of confidence, man.
This Georgian, like, you'd think if you put him with a white collar guy, some of the white collar guys that you train, you'd be thinking like, maybe on one of like Chrissy Morton's shows, you think, well, maybe they got an easy win here.
Yeah.
But the guy is like, he's awkward, and his style of fighting is actually very, very deceptive.
Southpaw stance back to orthodox from Kamanga. He's trying to find his range. He landed a hurtful shot there over the top. Tried the left hook, missed. That's almost like that kind of D'Amato-esque blueprint, the way he held his gloves there.
Yeah. Very Jose Torres.
Yep, Floyd Patterson, and obviously, Kid Dynamite, Mike Tyson.
Mike.
I fear there the comparisons may end, but at the end of round...
That's as far as it goes, my friend.
End of round 4.
I don't know why you're fearing anything. It's the truth.
Indeed. You know, it was a little bit better from the Georgian that round, Spencer. You know, a bit more positive work. I still think he lost the round. But I would like to see Kamanga close the action out. You see there, he lands that decent shot over the top. There's a straight shot, the jab. There's misses with the right over the top and lands the left hook. See it for another angle there. So that left hook landed on the side of the head and didn't really quite land sweet. If he'd shortened it a little bit, it may have had a more of a kind of appreciable effect.
10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 5.
Good left hook by Kamanga. He needs to start putting more. He's in punching.
That's the right hand.
Yeah. It's now. Unfortunately, Kamanga doesn't know how to cut corners yet and how to close off the ring because he's still fighting in straight lines.
He is. That's definitely what he's doing.
Right.
You know,
that's what he's doing. He's fighting in straight lines.
He needs to back this guy up.
Right.
But he's letting him lunge forward like that. You know, he misses with the left hook there. He's throwing the left hook too often, the lead left hook. There's a reason why a lot of fighters don't throw lead left hooks all the time. Unless you're very gifted like Roy Jones or Floyd Patterson, when you make it part of your staple, you know, there's a reason why you don't lead with a left hook. I mean, Vladimir Klitschko kept doing it at the end of the month at Wembley and kept missing Anthony Joshua with it.
Yeah.
There he goes, still game as ever.
You've got to be skilled.
The balance is appalling.
For a left hook in the first place. And that's why you need to touch someone with a jab, or even if you come with that right hand, then come with the left hook.
Or show the jab.
Right, exactly, or show it. But unfortunately, you know what, it's the embryonic stage in Kamanga's professional career, so you know what, he's just got to keep on climbing his ladder.
He brought the knee up ever so slightly there. There's a little twitch there, the left knee for Avakyan. I reckon he's definitely come from something that might be Muay Thai, it might be kickboxing.
It could be. Yeah, good double jab there.
Because he looks like a kickboxer turned boxer or something similar, because quite honestly his fundamentals aren't there and his balance is really not good.
It's not good at all.
If Sugar Ray Robinson wants to opine that the essence of boxing is rhythm and balance, and if that's the case, that's probably why he's a little bit challenged in this regard.
Yeah.
He doesn't have either.
But you know what? Fair play to him. He's having a go.
Yeah.
And I think the pressure and the expectation is weighed actually on
Kamanga, yeah.
Kamanga to do something, and Kamanga isn't really doing anything.
See, the knee again. The knee again.
The leg comes
the referee hasn't said a word about it, Spence.
Well, you know what? Maybe
perhaps it's less obvious at that level.
Yeah, could be.
I'm watching the action, not the monitor, as a general rule.
I'm actually watching the monitor.
I prefer to watch the real fight. There's something about watching that screen, although you can see it on a level, that feels like I'm getting it second hand.
Yeah, exactly. But I like to get the same feel as what the audience at home are getting.
True.
See, I'm with you at home, the audience. You know what I mean? I want to feel what you're feeling.
we've got the bases covered either way. Yeah. More of the same.
Round 6.
All 6 rounders tonight, interestingly, Spence, up on the bill. No 4-round filler.
I thought this was an 8-round fight. I had it listed as being an 8-round fight.
Yeah, it may well be. What I'm saying is that every preceding battle was a 6-rounder. There hasn't been any 4-rounders, at least.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. That means that anybody who...
That's a decent right hand over the top now. He's fair in the range with that.
That hurt him as well. But you know what? Fair play to the Georgian. He's coming back and he's still throwing his hands.
It's almost like an old school. Remember those old kind of etchings of prize fighters in the 1800s? He has that kind of bearing.
The Ring magazine, in black and white.
It's not boxing as we know it. And then he does that, like I say, the kind of Mike Tyson, Jose Torres-esque stance with the cupped gloves in front of his face. I hate to say it, Spence, because I keep saying it, but he nearly brought his knee up again.
Yeah, I know.
He had that kind of slapping left hook, and then he twitched with that knee again. Took a left hook there.
Kamanga now trying to go on up the pace.
Yep. And he needs to, because...
Oh!
Takes the left hook back. Best thing I can say about Avakyan is he's gutsy and relentless. You know?
Yeah, you know what? He's brave because he's taking some shots. He's still in the fight, and I think, like I'm saying, in a fight like this, the pressure is actually on Kamanga to do something.
He needs to shorten the left hook up, Spence. You know, when you're trying to get a guy, sometimes it needs to travel less far to be devastating. Case in point. Oh, the knee again. He's complaining about something. Will the referee have a word with him? The gum shield has gone again. But he keeps looking like he knee jerk, if you will.
Yeah.
Instinctively goes back to some other combat discipline he used to do, and his knee twitches all the time. Touch his gloves again. Jab to the body from Kamanga. There's the left hook, it lands, and it's the first time he visibly staggered him. The towel's coming in, he wants to throw the towel in, the corner wants to throw a towel in, and the referee's accepted it. It wasn't a hugely staggering punch, it was just a decent shot. I think maybe they overreacted a little bit in the away corner.
But I do believe that his corner of Avakyan knew what was going to happen after.
I'm not going to lie to you, Spence, I feel somewhat mercifully
lie away to me, sir.
So we just call it like we see it. We're not here to do a hatchet job on anybody, but let's finish on a positive note. Very gutsy display from the visitor from Georgia.
Yeah, it was. I think he busted his nose there because he got a really bad nosebleed there as well. But
yeah, perhaps it was more of an injury than we realised. You know, there. Yeah. It was. You see, perhaps we get a look at it on the replay. This is Tempulu, so this is obviously not right. But if we could get a replay, I don't know if that's possible. Could we get a replay of the shot that finished it?
Can we get a replay, please?
Yeah, rather abrupt ending out of the blue there, Spence, but there it is.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chance Golden calls of the contest at 2 minutes and 22 seconds of round number 6. For your winner, Paul Kamanga! And let's cheer for your runner-up, Mikheil Avakyan from Georgia.